Good afternoon or good evening, YouTube. This is your man Truth coming back with the Driving Home Chronicles. Couple things to talk about today. We always talk about what we want as far as. Before we get started, if you could do me a favor, it really help the channel. You like and subscribe to the channel. Comment why you might not want to subscribe and what kind of information you might want to hear from me. All of that helps the algorithm out, helps me get in front of more people, helps me grow the channel, so I appreciate it. Anyway, one thing I wanted to touch on, I was just watching a video, and some of you guys might be aware of the Kendra G show, or any of these dating shows like Pop the Balloon, or anything like that. And I'm always wondering, what do people think they deserve in a partner, right? Do you not think that, what you want in a partner is not what your partner wants from you? Like, for example, and I like to speak to guys here mostly, because that's my experience. But I wonder, what are they looking for in a man that they'll be able to give to a man, right? So, for example, if I say I want, from coming from one perspective, I say, I want a guy who, has his stuff together, he can take care of me, he's good looking, he's outgoing, blase, all these particular requirements that, women say they want. Oh man, it's starting to rain. Why would you think that man wants you? What if you met that type of guy and he saw you in a room full of women, would he pick you, right? Why do people think they deserve more than what they are? I guess is what I'm getting to, right? So if you want a top tier guy, there's nothing wrong with wanting a top tier guy, but you got to really step outside yourself and ask yourself, are you a top tier woman, right? And I think all too often, women, look for these top tier guys, and I mean, guys do it too, look for these top tier women, and they feel like they deserve these top tier women. Come on, y'all having whole conversations here? What are we doing? Pardon me. I just be seeing people just be having, conversations with people on the side of the road, like there's no traffic. Like people be living really in their own world, and I guess that that speaks to what I was talking about earlier. Actually, it's a good segue. People be really in their own worlds, and they're oblivious to what other parties may want or other parties may need. Because if you look at me, let's say I'm that guy, right? Let's say I'm the guy. I look good. I work out every day. I'm making, all of this money. I'm well-rounded. I'm well-traveled. Like, I have all these attributes. I'm outgoing. I'm an outdoor guy. I have all these things that, these women say they're looking for. And, here I am. I've worked on myself, and I'm at the top. I done made it to the top. I'm a big dog now, right? So that means when I look out into the dating field, I have plenty of options. Now, unless if I'm a top tier guy, which means I'm looking for a top tier woman, what would be a top tier woman? I mean, I guess that can vary from every, guy to guy, but for the most part, he's going to be looking for attractiveness, right? He's going to be looking for an attractive woman that compliments him, right? When I say compliment, not, sorry, saying compliments, but makes him look better, right? Because once you're dating a top tier guy, I mean, we're talking about top tier guy as in not just a regular Joe Schmo. I mean, he's going to be rubbing elbows with certain type of people in the community, which means he has to have a wife on his arm that compliments him. That means that he's going to have a wife that, is able to be in those particular rooms, and is going to be not only making him look good, but also be able to speak the language, be able to, identify and solidify any opportunities that might be out there because of the networking skills that she has, right? So she doesn't have those networking skills. She's not easy to get along with, and she's not easy on the eyes. I mean, that disqualifies you right there. So let's take it a step further, or take it in a different direction. Maybe he's looking for a trophy wife. Are you a trophy wife? Like, he's done everything in his life. He doesn't need you for anything. Doesn't need you to make his life, his business life better, right? But he just wants a woman that's going to be, something he can look at. Do you fit the criteria of, the standard of beauty, right? Are you a 10? Not I feel like a 10. Are you a 10? Are you able to walk in a room with supermodels and hold your own? If you're not able to do that, then you're not a 10, so you probably don't deserve a 10 as a guy. I mean, it's so funny to me that people will be like, well, yeah, I've screwed my life up. I make, poor decisions with my life, but I want to date someone who's made great decisions with theirs. I now deserve this because I've been through hell. No one deserves anything that you don't deserve, if that makes sense, right? So just because you went through hell with the previous relationship, who told you that you deserve happiness, right? Because that other person deserves happiness as well. They've made all the right decisions in their life. They not had any kids out of wedlock. They went to the right schools. They did the right thing on their job. They planned their finances correctly. And now, because you have dealt with someone, you made a poor decision, you dealt with someone that, obviously wasn't good for you. But you still accepted that. You still chose that particular person and decided, hey, I'm going to be with this person. At any particular time, you could have moved on and said, you know what, this isn't for me. This isn't serving where I want to be in life. This isn't serving, what type of person I want to be, what type of person I want to raise children with. But you decided to stay. And you continue to double down on the foolishness. Now you're expecting some guy to come and rescue you from your own painful decisions. And that'll help you rebuild and deal with the trauma that you have from the previous relationships when he caused none of it, right? I mean, obviously, there'd be some guys that say, I see enough value in this person that I want to build with them. But that's few and far between, especially when that guy has options. You got to look at it like if I'm a guy and I'm out there dating and I have 3 women to choose from, right? One's, Ivy League educated. She comes from, how they say, good stock. She's well-spoken. She's fit, she's feminine, and she's caring. And then I have another woman. She may not be as well-read, but she's drop-dead gorgeous, and she's still feminine. And then I have you could stand to, be a little bit better in certain areas. You're a little bit more masculine because you've had to fight for yourself, right? Why would he choose you? And that goes the same thing for guys, right? So if you're a guy and, you made mistakes with your finances, you're not all that well, you're not that attractive as far as, the looks department. You may be a decent looking fella, but you're not 6'5". You're not an Adonis. Your money could be better. You made some mistakes. You got, baby mamas here and there. Why do you think you deserve the best woman out there? You deserve the best woman for you in your area, right? And I think that's what, we all need to really come in and understand. Like, there's so many good people that are on your level, right? That we say, well, I deserve this person that's not on my level. Well, why do you think that person, what do they deserve? It's basically what I'm hitting to. So you think if you're a 6, why do you think you deserve a 10? Does that 10 deserve a 6? Does that person who is flawed and has very little flaws deserve a flawed person? Why should they rescue you? And I think that's when we have a problem. You have 80% of the women chasing 20% of the men. And, there's so many good men that may not, fit every criteria that she's looking for, that are kind of left out there. Now, I'm not talking to the guys who ain't trying. Now, you ain't got shit going for yourself. You don't have no, ambition, and you think, well, I deserve to be loved. No, you don't. You don't deserve anything. You only deserve what you're worth, right? And if you're not getting the results that you want from the dating market, then your value's not there, right? Because what a lot of guys may not get to see is like, yeah, there might be a lot of trash women out there. There might be a lot of trash, dating partners out there, right? And so you're coming from that perspective as a guy. Might be a lot of, flawed women out there in the dating pool. But if you were valuable, you would have opportunities to pick through, right? So if you're not even getting the opportunities, then that should tell you, hey, I need to work on myself. Because you're not even getting the opportunity to pick through the trash woman. You're not even getting an opportunity to say, hey, there's a lot of crazy chicks out here. Because any guy who has anything going on with themselves, that's worthwhile, has at least had the opportunity to choose the women he wants to deal with. And it may not always be, tens, they might be, you might get 1 9 here and there, might get an 8. But most of it's 6s and 7s, which is, a lot of people fail to realize that 6 and 7 is above average. This is above average women, which means she looks good. When you put her in a crowd with a bunch of average people, she stands out because she's above average, right? So you have your fill of 6s and 7s, and you can actually have a good situation going because you have that. Why would they think that that's a good one? Lord, people driving so wild to me. But well, if you're not even getting noticed, you probably need to work on yourself, guys. I don't understand why anybody wants to address this with people. Like, women don't deserve. You don't deserve a woman's attention if you're not working on yourself, right? Now, what everyone deserves is somebody to be truthful to them and treat them right? That's what everybody deserves, that. But you don't deserve the opportunity to talk to a woman. You cannot get mad at women because you're unattractive and you're doing nothing about it. And so why am I not getting women? They should just be coming up to me. It's not how this works. It's not how this works. It hasn't worked that way since the beginning of time. The better options got better picks. They got more picks. And if you're not doing anything to separate yourself from your peers, and you continue to be below average, and that's what a lot of guys don't want to address. You're below average, and the same thing for women. The only difference between men and women in that particular regard, a lot of below average women have above average opportunities. Because let's say for me, I'm a 6 or a 7. You say I'm slightly above average to maybe a little bit more above average. I'm not an 8 or 9 or a 10. What happens is, depending on the resources I have available to myself, or just where I'm at in life, I might hit a 5. I might hit a 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, she might not be all that, but she's available. Or this average girl, she's cute. She ain't nothing to write home about, but she's cute. And now somebody who's above her, and showing her attention, now she thinks, well, I deserve 6s and 7s. Or a lot of girls that who are 5s and 6s get smashed by guys who are 9s and 10s. So then they think, well, this ball player or this millionaire slutted me out, excuse my language, because I want to be clear with why I said that way. They slutted me out for a weekend, so I deserve a 9 and 10. No, you were useful for the weekend. You were useful for a time frame. He's not trying to marry you. He's using you because you're convenience. And I think that's what sometimes women don't realize, because you're able to sleep with someone who is a higher status of you doesn't mean that he wants to marry you, because men are going to go after what's available. And unfortunately, as a woman, when you see someone that is, a couple levels above you, you're going to make yourself available, because that subconsciously, that guy's better than you. I'm not trying to, be mean or anything like that. If I'm a, just an average 9 to 5 employee, and a millionaire slides in my DM and wants to fly me out, he has better options than I got. You know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to anybody, but that's just the truth. And I think so often we've gotten far away from the truth, and now we're living in Delulu land. I've worked with women and dated women who have dated, professional athletes. And I was a 9 to 5 guy at this particular time, right? So, it wasn't like I had, the money that those particular guys had, but we still had access to the same women. Why do I say that? Because sometimes the world that they're living in is still average. but every now and then they might be able to get, the attention of somebody. And I mean, think how easy is it for him to pull that particular woman? So that's why I always say, we attract who we are. We attract what we are. And I mean, if you're an average person, you're gonna attract an average person. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with having an average looking person in your life. And there's nothing wrong with, not everybody's gonna get 9 and 10s, because guess what? They're 9s and 10s. There's very few of them to go around. So if you're out here, I'm not going to date anyone except for a 9 and 10, you may get some some sex from a 9 and 10. Talking about women, very rarely do guys get that. You might luck into it, or you might think she's a 9 and 10, and then in reality she might be a strong 6, but she's the baddest thing you've ever came across, so she's a 10 in your book. I see that a lot, actually. But I just want to know, where does this delusion come from that you think that you deserve better, but that particular person deserves worse, right? So they don't get to date above their level, but they have to come down to your level to date you. It's weird to me. Anyway, this is some thoughts I had on the ride home. If you have any questions, please comment and subscribe below. Leave a like on the video. Really helps me out in the algorithm. Really appreciate it, guys. And thanks so much for stopping by.